Heads up. If you have kids around,
Parental advisory is in effect.
This is the Bone is Bone podcast with Lamont and Tonelli.
It's like water torture.
Baby Huey.
Chasta.
Welcome back to the Bone is Bone podcast, friends.
How you doing?
Lamont's back. Chasta, Lamont, Tonelli, Baby Huey. And if you're watching on YouTube, it looks like I am sitting on the surface of the sun.
That's because I did your lighting for you.
No, it's just the star of your background.
You're an angel.
I am an angel. Look, I have a halo.
Of death.
Oh, look at that. How rude.
It was just,
Boom, right out of the friggin'
it was sitting there on a tee.
We're not even a minute in. And that, I mean, that's aggressive.
Good.
Sorry, it was out there.
No, I'm
reference.
I'm going to stand under my halo right now.
Yes.
All right, so last week.
You're like a Christmas tree.
And now I'm pissed that I even was saying this since he's ragging on me. Last week we were celebrating Lamont and Tonelli, even though they give me so much shit. That we're doing part 2 this week because Lamont wasn't on last week.
Well, I wasn't here.
Well, it was funny because we were telling all these stories and talking about things, and then as soon as we turned the mics off, we were like, oh, yeah, and oh, yeah. So
Well, there's so many things to talk about, right?
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden things start coming back.
Yeah, but you told me a story last week that I had never heard. I was surprised that there are stories from your show that I hadn't heard, but the big ass contest.
Oh, that was outstanding.
It was totally outstanding.
Who had the biggest ass contest?
And I think it was really kind of bordering on brilliant the way we decided to measure them sitting in flour.
So displacement theory, I believe,
Yes.
Paul, because we're so scientific.
So many other factors come into measuring them around.
So what we would do is we set up a big kind of like flat tray full of flour. And we thought it was funny that they had to sit in flour.
Right.
Right? And
So
when
then you
they
would measure like a cross.
and then the moment they got up, we would measure the indentation.
Yeah, the imprint there.
On how much flour was displaced.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
It's scientific.
Well, it was brilliant until we realized how fine flour was, and it fucked up all the broadcast equipment.
That was the most unintentionally hilarious thing ever.
Our engineers wouldn't talk to us for a month.
I bet.
They
Well, they
were
still
finding
don't.
flour for months.
It was the start of a trend.
Well, the thing, yeah, that's where it all began. Now we know. Well, flour is one of those things that's incredibly hard to clean up.
Oh, and we had sacks of flour because we thought this was the greatest friggin' idea. Because we had contestants like crazy who wanted to measure their ass.
I'll say the pit was like 3 feet by 3 feet or so. I mean,
That's a lot of flour.
And it was filled about this deep with flour.
Yeah.
That deep. Well, we got screens.
Yeah, we got screens.
It was probably like 6 to 8 inches deep in flour.
8 inches.
Well, that's 8 inches.
So what, like a tray, like a big...
Yeah, like a big pit, cardboard pit that we put on the counter. We put a little step stool up to the counter so they could step
They
up
would plop
and
down.
sit
When
on
they
the
plop
counter.
down, there was a cloud.
And the cloud would
Please tell me
poof
that
up.
this wasn't bare ass plopping.
It was bare ass plopping.
Yeah, well,
really?
why wouldn't
Of course
it be?
we did.
That doesn't feel sanitary. This is
Well, we put down a friggin' fresh layer of flour.
you what?
You wiped.
Yeah, we had like we had albums in the studio,
Yes.
and they have plastic dividers.
Yes.
So we used one of the plastic album dividers to smooth over
Yes.
okay.
the
And then
flour.
put
every
another
time.
layer on.
Very
Okay, so it was
resourceful.
sanitary.
Yeah, kind of.
What's in the studio?
They are scientific,
Well, it was
resourceful.
kind of like kitty litter too, especially for the wet spots. But anyway,
Well, that's what I mean. I don't want to be gross or vile
but
here.
I'll take it there.
But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't feel sanitary
Yeah.
because
If you're you want to be first.
you definitely want to be first.
And every time they took apart the equipment to clean anything for the next year or so,
Yes, there was
they
always
found
flour in the freaking
in
board.
everything.
What a
Everywhere.
'Cause it got
nightmare.
everywhere.
Oh,
Think
yeah.
about just like poof.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it goes
Just like
everywhere.
clouds of flour for 4 hours.
Like
Not as bad though, and I'll tell you. Here's another highlight that I thought of when you told the flour story. Was the one where Paul didn't want anything to do with it because it was what would you do for, we used to do this all the time. What would you do for front row tickets to AC/DC or Van Halen or whatever big band was coming up? So I think this one might have been AC/DC. And if you want to sit in the front row, I mean, there's nothing better, right?
Yeah.
So we let them, instead of having one thing, what would you do to earn these tickets? And we had a person doing this and that. And one guy who we should have realized he probably wasn't all there when he came up with this idea. He goes, I will shove a complete egg in my asshole. And I started laughing and I go, oh, that is perfect. You are definitely a contestant for this contest.
Like, now I got to see.
So what we did is we had one contestant come in and do something. Another contestant comes in. And this guy is basically a no-show. And we built this up. We had 4 of the best contestants. Well, this guy is not showing up, and we had a slot on the show. But he keeps calling, going, hey, I'm running a little late. I'll be there for sure. And I said, well, you better hurry in, because unless you're here by this time, that's the last slot available on the show. You are not going to qualify for this prize. So you better bring your ass in here and shove eggs up it.
With the eggs, yes.
So, sure enough, 5 minutes before the end of the show, before it was like 8:45 might have been the cutoff point. At 8:40, this friggin' guy rolls in, and he's sweaty, and he's clammy, and he takes off his bike helmet that I guess he lived in Palo Alto.
Yeah, that's true.
And biked to San Jose to a certain point, and then took light rail to get to the studio. So when he gets to the studio, I mean, this guy has been through us, and you've got exactly 4 minutes to shove this egg in your ass, right? We're on the air. So he takes a whole bunch of, and oh, by the way, let me add this. I guess he was in such a hurry, and these were hard-boiled eggs, which is the trick to this.
Right.
Because
it would have to be,
it
right?
would have to be a hard-boiled egg. But he dropped the eggs when he was getting onto the light rail because he was in such a rush. So he takes them out of this container, which I think it might have been a bag, okay? There was not much protection for
No,
these
not at all.
eggs. He takes them out of the bag, and I can see the shells are cracked on it. And I start laughing, and he sets up exactly, because I'm on the board. So he sets up exactly where Paul is standing
Right
at
next to
Paul's
me.
workstation.
Yep, right there.
And we said, okay, well, Paul, you're going to have to witness this. So Paul goes, I'm not going to witness this. But we had our promotion person there, and our promotion people really kind of hated us because we made them do the shittiest stuff. So the promotion person has got to sit there with the camera to prove it happened and the webcam.
Needs to be documented.
And zoom in on this guy's asshole, and he takes one of these eggs and just blobs KY jelly all over it. It bends over right near Paul's computer.
At least he knew what he was doing.
And starts hammering his asshole, but it won't go in his ass, and he's making egg salad. And this egg ass salad is all over Paul's workstation and computer.
Oh, it's brutal.
It was the nastiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Crumpled blue cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That has touched a butthole.
Yes.
Like
It's a biohazard.
That is a biohazard.
You know, the crumbles, that's who.
Thank you for running my favorite cheese
after
for
he
me.
attempted this with 2 eggs, okay, because he had 2
That's
eggs.
true.
After he attempted with 2 eggs, we had to say, well, unfortunately, that doesn't qualify because it had to be the whole egg. But there was egg all over, and it took probably a week to get that friggin' ass egg smell off of Paul's workstation.
Oh, my God.
It was wonderful.
Last week, Tonelli was telling us about a guy who brought roadkill into the studio as well.
Roadkill was a good one, too.
That was a good one.
No one to talk to us in the station at all.
Yeah, see?
There was a complete deer that we had to put in the garbage disposal thing outside.
Oh, my God.
And the big trash canister bin thing.
Yeah, a complete
in the
deer
back.
that the guy pulled off the highway. And then the guy who walked in with the kind of like soap, like a
like the flat box, the soda box, right?
Yeah, the soda box.
Soda
Let's
flats?
say if you buy soda over at Costco or something, and they have like 4 6-packs in it with just a little. Well, there must have been 30 dead skunks and roadkill that were
just completely flattened.
That he put in there, and it stunk so bad, and you could see things crawling on them.
He was hurrying in to hit the deadline of the show, and he tripped as he came into the studio.
And it fell all over the carpet. There was brand new carpet in the studio, too.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I can
that
imagine
reeked
the
for
smell.
Oh, yeah.
weeks.
Please tell me that wasn't anywhere near the timeline of the eggs.
No, that was a different contest.
On top of ass.
Same studio, though.
Same studio. That poor studio.
Right.
Ugh, hopefully what do they do with that studio? What is it now? Do we even know?
I have no idea.
That's so crazy.
Also, the pierced vagina was a good one, too.
I've heard part of this story, but I don't think I've heard all of it.
Yeah,
Maybe because I was no more.
The best part of the story is, and these were for Van Halen tickets. I specifically remember Van Halen.
Right.
Front row and backstage passes to meet Van Halen.
That's a big deal.
People are going crazy for this, right? I mean, these are great tickets. And one woman calls up. I remember her first name. I'm not going to give her last name, but her name was Wendy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. See, I forgot about that.
See, Wendy calls up and said, I will pierce my vagina. And I go, you're on the show. And by the way, we have a live studio audience for this too, right?
Of course, you have to.
So she comes in and she's had a few drinks because she's very nervous. Mm-hmm. And
it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And we had a live webcam too. So she props herself up, I think near Paul's workstation.
Yeah,
my God.
And it was the utility spot.
And puts her friggin' vagine right there on the counter. And there are literally 50 people in the studio watching this.
And she's just spready Eddie right here on the counter?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Now, to make it worse, to make the story worse, Sully was our producer at the time, and we're describing this and getting the microphone nice and close so we hear the sound of the piercing gun.
Oh, my God.
And I go, okay, so Wendy is getting ready she's sitting on the counter. And just as I say that, we're taping on cassettes, and I hear the cassette. Sully did not put a new cassette in, and the tape ran out.
No.
Yes. So now I'm grabbing cassettes while I'm trying to talk and putting it in.
Oh, my God.
So we did not get the actual click.
On tape.
No. However, at the end of the broadcast, when we go into commercials, she said, oh, yeah, I'm taping this at home.
Oh, wow.
So I know that we do have a copy of it. So I said, okay, give me your phone number, and I'll call you after the show. Because I don't know exactly where it clicked off, but I know we didn't get where they pierced her vagina.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to it, and I am so fucking pissed off. I mean, this is the greatest sound ever. Then I give her a call. And she goes, yeah, okay, come over. Gives me the address. So I drive over to her place in Campbell. As I get there are 20 of the guys who were there in the studio watching her put on a show with her pierced vagina.
No.
Yes.
Way.
And as soon as I get there, oh, Lamont, you dog!
Oh.
You are here to see her vagina. I go, no, I'm just here to get the tape. That's all I care about.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
Yeah.
Did you get the tape?
Oh, I got the tape.
Okay.
And now what pissed me off, I would have played it last week, but I couldn't find it.
I was going to say, we got to dig this up somewhere.
So I will have to.
I don't know if I want to hear that sound.
I will have to do a deep dive for Wendy's vagina that's pierced.
The things that happened on that webcam.
Right.
Oh, my God. You don't even know.
I mean, there
know.
were stories about the Bunny Ranch girls coming in.
Oh,
right?
yeah. They would come in there and they'd have the drill dough. Instead of a dildo, they put it on a drill and with a jackhammer.
Oh, my God.
And then while that was happening, I used to put special messages to my friends and hold the piece of paper. Hey, Spruce, how are you? Because I knew he was watching.
This is before anybody did web captures or anything like that.
It's before
it was just streaming and gone.
And then it was gone forever, and it didn't matter.
That's the way streaming should be.
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
Don't get any crazy fucking ideas watching this, motherfuckers. That's why you're not seeing a vagina today.
No, you're not seeing a vagina today. I will assure you of that. At your golf tournament was one of the only times I've seen a vagina that wasn't giving birth. Do you remember that?
Oh, do I remember what golf tournament?
It was, I don't remember what year, but it was wild. I was in a cart with another guy, and I won't say his name because I want to get him mad at me, and another girl, and she was hammered, and she went for it, spready Eddie, and no panties or anything. And I mean, I've seen Gianna give birth twice. It's not like I'm new to, this is not a big deal. I'm not that prudish.
Right.
But it was
never at a golf tournament.
Well, yeah, but it was also I'm trying to be classy here.
Hello.
It was open.
Had a lot of wear and tear on it.
It was you could see a lot. That's all I'm going to say. And it was a lot of education for me. Yeah. I didn't know.
Her nickname was Flappy.
I didn't say it. You guys did.
I think I remember the girl.
Hey, stop giving me lip.
I'm blushing. I'm getting sweaty just thinking about it. Let's talk about guests. That's one of my questions. Like, what are the worst guests, your best guests, your favorite guests, the most annoying guests?
Well, I will tell you, one of my all-time favorite guests, and when he came into the studio, it was hit or miss because he was either the greatest guest or he came in so stoned that Baby Huey knows exactly what I'm talking about. He would just sit here and laugh at our jokes, and that was Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald was the fucking funniest guy alive. I remember seeing him do stand-up in Canada before I moved here.
Yeah.
And I was emceeing a comedy club, and he would get up there and just kill it. But when he came in, sometimes he would come in so friggin' stoned, and we'd say, "Hey Norm, what do you think?" Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what we would do.
And I go, "Hey, so Norm, what do you think of this?" And we tell a joke. "Oh, that's funny, yeah." And that's all he did for 20 minutes. And then sometimes he would just friggin' be the best guest ever.
Yeah.
I friggin' love Norm Macdonald.
The weirdest guest to me was John Lovitz. Oh my God.
John Lovitz.
Well, sweet guy, but whoa, was he bizarre.
One of your favorites, Juliet Lewis, was also pretty weird.
Okay,
Stinkiest guest.
Yeah.
And then
okay, I'm not making that up. Baby Huey, she had body odor.
It was very bad.
She had
very bad.
Her body odor had body odor.
It smelled like for a friggin' month.
Yeah.
I mean, she is a little like that, so I guess I'm not.
Well,
that
she was
surprised.
like that, au naturel, when she was in the studio.
What year was this? This has been a long time ago.
When she was on tour with her band.
Okay,
Yeah.
So, my God. I went to see her on that tour 3 or 4 times. I'm so jealous I wasn't there. Although maybe it's good because maybe that would have been the end of it for me.
Yeah.
I'm not.
She was entertaining as hell on the air.
She was a great guest. Great.
But the smell was so friggin' bad, Chasta. Seriously.
Really?
It was like, it was super producer times 10.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Even Sully thought she stunk.
That's saying something.
And Stifler's mom was kind of weird, too.
Oh,
yeah.
Because she came in to do like a comedy. She was working at a comedy club.
Yeah.
And we thought she would tell jokes, but she didn't tell anything.
Not even close.
Hi, I'm Stifler's mom.
I remember one you hate for the longest time.
Who's that?
Dat Fan.
Oh, Dat Fan. Yeah.
Not a good interview.
Well, he wasn't a great interview.
Yeah, just wasn't a great interview.
Yeah.
I remember
Well, he thought he was there to do an interview on his life.
Yeah.
No, give me 5 minutes of joke and get out of the studio.
Tara Patrick, the porn star, was terrible.
Yeah, porn stars generally were, though.
Yeah. But she came in, she was doing an appearance at a club, and she had a new book to promote, and you were asking questions about the book. And she's like, well, you got to go buy the book and find out for yourself.
And wouldn't answer any questions that were in the book.
And you're like, all right, well, we'll go buy the book and see you later.
Now, there was one porn star that got so mad at us because when she was, and she had like 46 quadruple D boobs. I mean, it was massive fake boobies, okay? And she comes into the studio and we say, how big are your boobs? I don't want to talk about how big my boobs are.
Right.
What? You have them on a friggin' flyer outside the club.
She's a porn star?
She didn't want to talk about she thought she was there doing an interview as well. But meanwhile, that's all she advertised were how big her boobs were.
Yeah.
Said, well, okay, well, thanks for coming in, blah, blah, blah. Well, we started talking about how big her boobs were when she left. She came back into the studio mad at us. How dare you guys disrespect me by talking about my boobs when I didn't want you to talk about my boobs? Really?
Yeah,
I'm looking at the friggin' flyer right here.
46 Triple H or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have boobs that big, that's what you're going for. Like,
Right. That's all she advertised.
Yeah.
That her boobs were that big.
That's your calling card, sweetie.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
I do remember a porn star, and I don't remember her name, but she came into the studio super, super cute, tiny little girl. But she was going through like a transition where she was kind of getting out of porn. And so it was kind of weird. She was doing a stripper show, but she didn't really want to talk about porn. She was stopping porn, but I think she does porn again. I think her name is Christy.
Christy Mack.
Christy Mack.
Yeah.
She was real pretty girl.
Yeah, she was gorgeous.
Yeah. I remember her. I thought she was so cute, but I remember it was a bit awkward because same kind of sentiment. Like she didn't really want to talk about what everybody wanted to talk about.
Well, that's why we were here. The club was actually wanting you to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was always interesting, whenever the Bunny Ranch girls would come through from time to time, like Air Force Amy and stuff, because I remember.
I love Air Force Amy.
I know, I do too. I mean, I remember watching HBO, years ago, the Cat House. Isn't that what it was called? Cat House?
Yeah.
And then getting to meet all of them was always really interesting.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think she's still active too.
Is she?
I don't think she's retired yet.
Yep.
Wow. Good for her. She's doing the dang thing. Okay, so that probably answers the wildest. Is the wildest thing the in-studio piercing or the dildo? I never thought I'd say that.
Or the egg stuffed in the ass, yeah.
And then last week we talked about the dude with the scrotum on the billboard, but that was out of the studio.
That was a good one. I forgot all about that guy.
What was that for? Tickets?
That was for tickets.
That was for tickets. That was
that
what
his
would
idea?
you do?
Yeah, that was his idea.
We let them come up with their own ideas.
His idea.
Because honestly, sometimes they can come up with crazier things.
Well, I wouldn't have thought of, hey, do you think you can nail your balls to a billboard?
And he did it, right?
He did it.
I can't imagine what people must have thought.
Well, the best is when you're driving down the freeway and a guy pulls his pants down, takes a hammer out, and starts hammering his balls to our billboard. Let me get that call.
Yeah, yes. I'm surprised it didn't cause an accident.
Yeah, we talked about the guy that ate like 30 goldfish live.
Oh, that I could not have. I couldn't.
And the guy that ate something like 22 balut eggs.
Yeah, that's
for tickets.
What is up with the stinky stuff you guys bring in the studio? The balut eggs is like that. That's like the 100-year-old with the chicken thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like, well, it's not like an unfertilized, it's like an embryo inside the egg.
It's supposed to be a delicacy.
Embryo.
And he ate it.
Yeah,
like
it's got bones and everything in it, right?
Oh.
It's
Yeah,
bones and
you can hear
beaks
the bones crunching as they,
all right,
the baby chick.
That's enough of that.
He ate 22 of those things.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine how bad his shit was the next day?
He's pooping out little baby bird bones.
Balut eggs.
And how stinky it must be.
Right?
What about time we put in the microwave your placenta?
Oh, my God. That ended up being, off the air, that was a shit show. Because remember?
Oh, yeah. Then we had to buy the station a new microwave because it turned into a health hazard.
Microwave.
Well, what was funny about it was we were doing that with Chef Ryan, who I adore, love him so much.
Yeah.
But he came in not realizing he needed to bring pots and pans.
Right.
And so
He just showed up
with a burner. A burner
showed
at
up.
least.
Yeah. He
I said,
just
well,
showed
how
up.
do you expect to friggin' cook this without any pots and pans or a burner?
Well, but it was a cognitive choice because he didn't want my placenta in his pot.
Yes, exactly.
Which I get. I understand. So then we had to get crafty and didn't we just put it on a paper plate and put it in the microwave?
Yes.
I think we did, yes.
He bought random things in the store over there.
Yeah, we had
Peanut
salt
butter.
He brought the seasoning.
and we put the seasoning on it. And then who ate it? I don't remember. Was it smelly?
No, I think
Sully?
I know I had a taste of it after Sully had it.
You did. Sully had the first. I think
he did.
And after he said it wasn't bad, which by the way, when he said it wasn't bad, I've seen the shit he eats. So that's still, I'm wondering why I actually tried it. But I tried it. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
You don't want to eat a tartare, though.
I've seen Gianna's placenta tartare, and that is amazing. And it's something.
Should have brought it in. We could have cooked it up.
I feel good. I have a 5-star review. All right, that note will be done. I'm blushing
Even
again.
her placenta is 5-star.
What can I say? All right, if you want to leave us a voicemail, 415-995-7077. But can I say one thing?
Oh, I want to say one thing.
Please.
If you're willing to shove an egg in your ass, we'd love to hear from you. Or if you'd like to pierce your vagina on the show.
I mean, yeah, okay. Let's go
Or
for it.
nail your balls to a billboard. I'd do that one again.
We could bring that back.
Yes,
we could bring all
exactly.
these back.
We'd have to get a billboard, though.
Yeah.
Why make it our billboard?
The problem with all this comes down to our budget. How real and
Yes.
sad is that? Hello, radio. So with the voicemail, it's not a place for your 5-minute stand-up routine. Please don't. I'm at a point where I'm just going to delete that. Also, if you're high and or drunk, that's fine. But if you're to the point where you're just slurring, I'm not going to understand it.
Oh,
anyway.
give those to me.
Oh, yeah. You should
some of them
forward
are.
those.
They're just. I mean, it's
Beautiful.
really bad. So anyway, 415-995-7077.
Thank God you don't star 69 me.
That's funny.
That
That is. Oh my
drink
God.
another macaroni.
Now if I get a guy, it's always going to be Tonelli.
Yeah.
From now on.
Another drunk guy.
All right, Huey, tell them where to subscribe. Tell them how to do all the things that the kids say.
Yeah, so subscribe to 1077 Bone on YouTube. If you're watching this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, all that good stuff.
I do like this lighting. It looks like I don't have a wrinkle on my face at all.
Fuck, let me stand there.
You're right. That's exactly what they do to Kelly on the show.
Right?
Kelly and what's her husband's name?
Kelly
Lamont?
on whoever the guest host is.
They just
Lamont
white everything out.
is the
Yeah,
angel
they
of
do.
life.
You are the angel of life.
No, that's
Life.
exactly because we've been trying to figure it out because it's on in the studio after our show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We're like, God, what do they do to? It looks exactly the same skin color.
This is it.
This is it.
Just absolutely albino looking. But look, not a problem. Okay, I just have to figure out how to attach a light to my face. So
You're
everywhere
going to
I
walk
go now,
around with a friggin' light ring.
call me Kim Kardashian. All right, you guys, thanks for being here. We love you so much. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.